I didn't really know how to start this video, so I'm just going to go... Bam. In fact, let's clap it in. Let's clap it in because we're back. I haven't made a video in who knows how long, but it's good to be here. I've probably just clipped so hard on the mic, I do apologise. Over the past 6 months, I've been working on a little project that if you know me or you follow me on social media, you'll already be familiar with. And if you don't know about it, well, I guess you're about to. I mean, I may already have spoiled it in the thumbnail or the title, so yeah, my bad. Basically, I've set myself up as a basketball videographer and have been travelling across the country to various clubs to capture highlights and create video content. I guess it doesn't sound too exciting when I say it like that, but there is a lot more to it. I might just be one of the few people who actually enjoys making basketball video content more than I do actually playing. And I know this for a fact because I tried out for 2 teams at the start of the season, and both times I thought, I still want to do video. Looking back, it was a good decision and it's been quite a journey up to this point, and it's just been fun sort of trying this out. So I wanted to talk about everything I've learned and experienced in creating JLR Videography, my basketball media portfolio, and also to talk about some of the creators that have inspired me because I have a lot of respect for them. Basketball in the UK doesn't get nearly enough mainstream media coverage for how popular it is, and so you have a lot of creators, independent creators, who work really hard to help promote the game and showcase the talent that we have. I thought I couldn't talk about my basketball media content without talking about those who have influenced me. So with all that said, let's get into this. I've got a rough plan of everything I want to go through, but I don't know, we could go off topic very fast. But before we do, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing because I love the attention. During last year's lockdown, I think at some point we all pondered the question, what am I doing with my life? Or what do I really want to be doing? And for me, the realization came that I wanted to get back into filming basketball. I started out uni filming the National Basketball League finals as well as some other video projects, and I did enjoy it, but I didn't know if I'd have enough time to continue it after graduation, and to be honest, I wasn't that fussed at the time. So I left it until such a time that I would want to get back into it again, and it just so happened that took 1.5 years. I suppose that's one thing I learned from this, is that you can have a hobby or an interest that you don't feel like doing anymore, but then you pick it up later on in life when you do feel like doing it, and that's absolutely fine. It's not like you stop doing it so you can never do it again. So like I said, during lockdown last year, I was inspired to start filming basketball again by watching creators like Deez Reels, BBL Fix, The Come Up Official, and they just showed me that there was a lot more that I could do with the content than what I was previously doing. Am I saying that right? Deez Reels? It's not Desi Reels, is it? Oh, I'm going to be embarrassed if I get that wrong. In the past, I'd go to an event or a game and I'd film the whole thing from start to finish and create one event mixtape. And while it produced a really good end product, it was quite time consuming and you never felt like you got the most out of the footage because you'd end up leaving out so many highlights that would be really good to show. I suppose at the time I was just stuck in a certain way of doing things and I didn't really have another perspective or another way of sort of looking at it and saying, okay, what else can I do with this? But with these guys, they were doing, short form video, Instagram post, Instagram reels. And I just thought, I want to do that. I want to give it a go. I feel like I can. I've, had some experience filming, but this side of things, the content side, I really want to try and learn a bit more about it. So I followed these basketball creators up until April when I finally invested in a new camera that I'd been saving up for. If you want to know, it was a Panasonic GH5. It's what I'm filming on right now. I might do a separate video about it because I haven't really been using it long enough, I think, to maybe do a full video on what I like and don't like about it. On the whole though, really great camera. So if you want to do sports videography, I'd recommend it, I think. I mean, I feel like I'm about to do a full review. Okay, it films at 50 frames a second at 4K, which is really good. Not a lot of cameras can do that. However, it's not great in low light. That's pretty much it. One thing I'll say is if you're setting up a business or a brand, always check the handles on social media, because you don't want to set up a name and create a lovely logo only to find that the handle you want isn't available. I think I tried to go with JLR Media, Josh Round Media, Josh Round Video, JR Video, all this stuff I couldn't use because it was already taken. But the idea to go with a more straightforward name was kind of a response to how I felt about my previous brand that I had, which is called Totally Media. You can go and look it up if you want. I don't know what's still up on the internet, but the problem I had with it is that the name and the logo and the visual appearance was just not representative of the content I wanted to make. It was a name that I'd taken from my old YouTube channel, which just kind of made sense to move it into a more business focus, but it didn't really reflect basketball content or sports content, which is primarily what I was filming at the time. And some of the best basketball media brands out there, like Hoopsfix and Underrated, they have a very clear, distinctive identity, and I wanted to kind of get that across with my own brand. So that's why I wanted to go with a name that was just who I am, what I do, and then the logo would show people the sort of content that I make. Now the logo, I actually had a few drafts for what I wanted the logo to be, and I think I've still got the little bit of paper. This was back when I thought I was just going to be using JR, so there were lots of different ways I could try and make JR. Some of them don't look that good. But then my dad, being the marketing genius that he is, came up with this, which he literally printed out. He designed, printed out, and gave it to me. And so I kept hold of it. He made this. It looks pretty good, right? Like he literally mocked it up in, I don't know, Microsoft PowerPoint or something in about 15 minutes. Very impressive. He's not a graphic designer, but he definitely could be. So as you can see, I like the design and I put it in Illustrator and jazzed it up a little bit, and there we have the finished product. So with the logo sorted, I set up the pages and I was finally good to go. I chose to set up on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. I kind of dare not touch TikTok. As big a platform as TikTok is, there's something about it that just scares me. The kind of content you see on there, it's wild. It really is. So I thought it better to be safe and just cover Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And by doing that, I'll at least cover one of the platforms that people are most likely to use. So now we come to the weirdest part about all of this, and that is actually putting yourself out there. It's actually going away and just doing it. There's no more planning, there's no more prep, you have everything you need, you just have to go and do it. And for a lot of people, I feel like whenever you're trying to start something new, that is the toughest hurdle to get past. And once you're past it, you can just keep going. But it's getting past that first block of just being like, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know how people are going to react to this. Doesn't matter. Just go out and do it and then see how things go. I started out by just filming at a training session and getting used to the camera, getting feel for it, and the sort of shots that I could get. But once that was done, I really wanted to get to an actual game. And that was quite difficult because at the time, games weren't particularly easy to come by. There was still a lot of restrictions in place and it was the summer, so the season wasn't on. So I reached out to a team who had an upcoming game and they got back to me telling me that I couldn't film there, unfortunately, but they gave me the contact details of somebody I could talk to about filming at another game that I think was even sooner. I managed to get in touch with them, got the go-ahead, went along to the game, and yeah, it was fun. I had a good time. It was honestly so cool because I hadn't filmed in so long, and getting the thrill of actually filming a proper game was just, I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. And not only that, but getting back and going through the footage and then putting that out on social media, seeing the reaction to that, it was just a snowball effect, you know, of positive things happening and me really finding my craft. Also, I completely forgot to mention one of the biggest things that happened during this time, which was the Hoopsfix All-Star Classic. It was an incredible event and I was extremely lucky to have been able to go along. I'd only been back filming maybe a few weeks before then, so massive thanks to Sam for letting me film and edit the highlight videos. I really enjoyed it. So by the end of the summer, I'd filmed quite a few games, big thanks to Molten College, and I was looking forward to the start of the season because I really wanted to get to more venues and really try and branch out, you know, to different clubs across the country. And I think when I actually got to the regular season, that's when I started to learn even more about how to best film basketball games. So I'll go through a few things that I've learned, and if you happen to be watching this and you film basketball, you can let me know whether you agree with this or whether there's anything else that I might have missed. First off, I found there is this optimal zoom where you get the shot that you want and it looks the best. And it's literally a case of if you zoom too far out, it doesn't look as good. And if you go too close up, you might miss the shot because you can't track the ball and keep up with the play. And I don't really know what the range is, but on some of the shots that I have that I film in 4K, I will digitally zoom in to try and make it look just aesthetically better. I don't know if I'm right with this, but I just feel like there's a sweet spot where it's just the perfect zoom and you feel the action and it's just the play that you want to watch. It's not all the stuff going on around you. The second thing is that low angles are really nice, but they're not if you're filming down the far end. Some of the best shots I've got, I've been under the basket, low angle, you know, you get a nice layup or a nice 3-pointer from the corner, but then if you're filming down the far end, you then get all these bodies in the way and you might have somebody going in for a dunk or an and one finish, and you just like, oh, you should miss it because somebody's walking along or the ref's in the way. So it's good, but it's used sort of sparingly. At some games, if you see me, I'll be standing up for a bit, maybe like 2 minutes, and then I'll crouch for a bit, or I'll be, you know, standing up for the play and then somebody shoots a free throw, so I'll crouch and then I'll stay down and then I'm up. It's a bit of a workout, to be fair. There's definitely a fitness aspect that, you know, we don't talk about enough. And the third thing I've found is that filming in slow motion can be good, but it's not always what you want. So when you're filming in slow motion, I'm talking like maybe 120 frames a second, you get a really crisp shot, and there's a lot you can do with speed ramping the footage, but you don't get the audio. So any of the hype or the crowd reaction that you might get if you're filming in slow motion, it's not there. But if you're filming at 50 frames a second, you do have audio, and you can still slow it down to the point that it looks good. You just can't slow it down as much. So the best times for me to get these nice slow-mo shots is usually during the warm-up, or if there's a break in the play and you just happen to get the teams walking back on court, that's when I'll switch to slow-mo, and then I'll go back to 50 frames a second when the action's happening. Because sometimes you really need the audio, you know, it doesn't really give you the full effect if you're watching a muted highlight. You want to hear like the screams and the cheers and like the trash talking maybe. Depends what they're saying, but I haven't had anything too bad standing on the baseline. So those are just a few things that I've learned, and I will definitely continue to learn as I go on. And like I said, if you're a video creator and you have any tips for filming sports, then, you know, by all means let me know. But the filming is just one aspect of it. Then comes the content. I think I would be right in saying that any photographer or videographer does not like going through their footage or photos more than they do actually capturing them. It's a long process. I think it takes me 2 hours to go through a game and log all the highlights. But once I've done that, I will then look at how I can use the footage to make social media content. What I usually start off with is just posting the home team highlights and the away team highlights, because I think people just want to see like their highlights straight away. So that's the thing I usually start with. And then once I've done that, I can then look at, you know, was there a significant play? Was there a great player from the game who had a great performance? And then I can decide, do I want to make this a video or do I want to make it a reel? I will say that Instagram tends to dictate what kind of content I make because it is the main platform. It's just the best for sharing photos and videos, so it kind of makes sense that that's the one that you kind of prioritize. But the difference between videos and reels, I think, can be quite interesting. With reels, you can add commercial music, which you can't with videos, and they can still get flagged for copyright infringement. And the reach that you can get with reels is it's so much greater than videos. On most of the reels I've posted, if I post them at the right time, they will get thousands of views very quickly. And that is just the beauty of being able to swipe through reels that, you know, Instagram is recommending to you. So you've got people that are just swiping through, they see a thing, they're like, oh, cool. Like. With videos, it's not as easy because it will appear on the explore page, but I feel like people don't tend to scroll through videos in the same way that they scroll through reels. So if I was going to say which one you would be better off going for, I'd probably say reels. But with reels, it's not always what you want because you do get the video cut off slightly, and I feel like the format tends to lend itself more to videos that are kind of 30 seconds or less. But it's up to you at the end of the day. It's really a creative choice. So that kind of brings us up to the present day, and the page at the moment I think has over 550 followers, something like that, on Instagram, and over 100 followers on Twitter, which I'm extremely grateful for, and the feedback has been really, really great. I've honestly enjoyed it so much so far this season, and I look forward to going to big games and just seeing what kind of content comes out of it. I think the best thing about this is, as I've been working on it, I haven't had any pressure or any expectations for where I want it to be. It's literally just been, I'm enjoying it and I'm just going to keep going and keep finding these games and seeing what happens. Really just kind of finding my way as I go. And some work has come from this, which has been really cool. You know, actually getting paid work is something I didn't expect. And I've definitely become better at filming and editing and social media content. So I really feel like this whole thing has been worthwhile, and you know, it's something that I'm proud of. I am proud of it. If you haven't checked out any of the content, then by all means do. I'll leave a link to the Instagram below. In fact, if you haven't watched it up until now, what are you doing? No, I'm joking. I also want to thank all of the wonderful people that I've met at all of these games. There's a really nice community of basketball media people and sort of content creators. If I have met you at a game, thank you for being nice and just for welcoming me back. It's just always great meeting new people and getting to talk about basketball. So this has been quite a long video, and congratulations if you made it to this point. I feel like I've rambled on a little bit, which to be fair I did warn you, but this has been quite nice for me to be able to look back on all the things that I've done since starting this back in May, which is crazy. It doesn't feel like it's been that long. If you enjoyed this, please give this video a like, and you know what? Head over to Instagram, go give JLR Videography a follow as well. I am going to have fun editing this for sure. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all the support with JLR Videography. It really means a lot, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.